Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Sports Express. I'm your host, Larry Spegar, and today we will be talking a little bit about sports, but primarily today, our show is the 19th Annual Academy Award Preview Show. It gives me great pleasure and so much happiness to be able to bring to you again a preview show of the best films and actors and actresses and technical nominations, awards. We'll make some predictions and talk about the movies in Hollywood's biggest night. Coming up March 15th, 2026, just a few nights from tonight, we are going to celebrate the 98th Annual Academy Awards from the Dolby Theater live from Hollywood. Conan O'Brien is back. He returns as the host of this year, again, the 98th Annual. Think about that, folks. Almost 100 years of the Academy Awards, Oscar history. For those of you that may have been fortunate, I've been there a number of times, never to the actual award show, but certainly many visits to Hollywood, many visits to Los Angeles, and certainly throughout California, but especially to Hollywood Boulevard, the Dolby Theater, to see it outdoors, the inside, the stairways, of course, where I just think that on Oscar night, how much excitement there would be and what a privilege it would be to be able to see that personally, and perhaps at some point in the near future, perhaps we'll have that opportunity. Bucket list material for sure is to go to an Academy Award night there at the Dolby Theater in Hollywood. Again, Hollywood's biggest night. We celebrate the movies, the movie industry, the actors, actresses, all the technical awards, the writers, the directors, everybody behind the scene, whether it be costume or makeup, directing and lighting and cinematography, the camera work, everything that goes. The expression is, it takes a village. It's so true. And for those of you, I've been able to be part of a number of movie sets and film productions, theater productions, television productions. Certainly with film, it does take quite a bit. And there is a lot that goes on behind the scenes, beyond the cameras, that you do not see. But it's so important in bringing everything to life. And in fact, including, not only do we visually see a film, but think of the audio and the sound and the quality and all of that goes into it. A film is obviously not just visual, it's very audio. So sound is obviously a big component of that, and certainly makes up one of the technical awards, the sound. And then certainly other aspects too, such as lighting and design, direction, of course, by the individuals, the creativity, the vision, if you will, of the story, of the characters, how things are developing, how things are being told. So there is a lot. And this is a celebration. I believe there are 24 categories for acting and other technical awards as well, for writing, for music. There is a whole wide world of celebration as we get ready to celebrate Oscar night. 98 years. And folks, we've done this preview show now for 19 years. Next year will be the 20th year. We've had so much fun. We've had so many great comments. I can remember going back to year 2008, and then even from the first 3 early years, I remember doing a number of the preview shows at the Cinemark Theater, located right off of Interstate 81, there near the music area, and it was just wonderful just to be able to do that. And then certainly for a number of years, we were so happy to be able to film so many of our preview shows at the Regal Cinema in Dixon City. And now, of course, we partner here with the Sports Express here at the in-house studio. And it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful to be able to do this and to be able to talk Oscars. And it is absolutely, absolutely incredible to be able to have this experience. The other thing I was thinking about even earlier today is one of my favorite days of the year, and perhaps even for you, is Oscar Sunday. It's one of my favorite days of the year. It ranks right up there. As I've mentioned in the past, some of my favorite days every year. New Year's Day, just loaded and filled with excitement. I enjoy the Rose Parade from Pasadena, California, and certainly a lot of the college football games, but the excitement of a new year, family and meals and great food, and certainly coming off a nice New Year's Eve celebration. Although mine, because I have such a packed day of enjoyment with college football and family and festive foods on New Year's Day, that my New Year's Eves are generally fairly quiet, so that I can get to a wonderful, enjoyable New Year's Day. So it's exciting New Year's Eve, and we certainly love that ball drop. But we're certainly looking forward to an early and a very, very enjoyable New Year's Day. Super Bowl Sunday, as many of you know, and being at the Super Bowl 60, what a milestone. Just a number of weeks ago, returning from San Francisco, just an awesome trip earlier in the year, going back to the College Football National Championship on Martin Luther King Day, January 19th, seeing Indiana win their first ever College Football National Championship. Just incredible right there in Miami. Miami was their opponent, almost a home game, technically, for the Hurricanes. That was fantastic. St. Patrick's Day, here in northeastern Pennsylvania, it's always a big day. It is the city of Scranton's certainly largest day of the year, festive. We're praying to St. Patrick for some good weather here. That'll be coming up, obviously, in just a few days. So let's all hope that's a great time of the year as well, St. Patrick's Day. It's almost a rite of spring, if you will. And then certainly the Easter holidays are right around the corner. They're always wonderful. Kentucky Derby Day, the first Saturday in May, is coming. So many wonderful, beautiful days. These are always days that I circle on my calendar. And the point is, Oscar Sunday, the Academy Awards, that is always one of my favorite days of the year as well. So here we go, folks. Thanks again for joining us. Let's get into it. We're going to preview some of the major races and talk about a number of categories where I think the drama and the excitement is going to lead us onto Sunday, and then wrapping up near the end, and just putting everything all together here. So let's jump into some of our major categories here. The big one, obviously, and it comes at the end of the night, but I love the whole program, and it just seems to go by so quickly for me. But obviously, at the end of the evening, there will be what's considered the biggest award, and that is Best Film. Alphabetically, the best films nominated this year include Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. Those are your 2026 nominations for Best Picture. Quite a bit of variety there, right? When we look at this just in generalities, we've got a little bit of science fiction. We have sports story, F1, Formula One racing, for sure. How about Frankenstein? Horror, kind of going to a throwback to the old Frankenstein era. Think about the original Frankenstein, I believe going back into the 30s. And Hamnet, a call out to, of course, Hamlet of Shakespeare. We go back, we visit Shakespearean. 400 years later, William Shakespeare, and he is still making ground and making an impression, not only on theater, but of course, certainly in the film industry as well. Marty Supreme, interesting story, and we'll see a little bit more about that as well. One Battle After Another, revolutionary, if you will. A father comes out of hiding, takes a revolutionary stance to protect his daughter in a police state gone wrong, and anything possibly disastrous could happen. And just a very rebellious movie to begin with, and the entire idea of it. So interesting, one battle after another. The Secret Agent, a film from Brazil, and a real political thriller, if you will, there. Sentimental Value, a dramatic family story, Norwegian, taking place in Norway. Another one of the international film selections as well. And then certainly Sinners. Sinners, and I did want to say this about Sinners, that they actually did set the record. I remember reading when the nominations came out, 16 overall, 16 nominations, one of them including Best Picture, actors and other technical categories. The most nominations ever. This is the 98th Annual Academy Awards. Sinners, the movie Sinners, has set the record now for 16 nominations altogether. So they could potentially have 16 wins and perhaps set the record for the most wins. Now that's nominations. We'll see how many wins come out there, but that's quite the accomplishment. And then certainly the other name too that we had is Train Dreams. So if you look at it too, quite a bit of variety, as we said, a lot of different categories. Horror films, sports films are in there, foreign films, international films are in there as well, and a little bit of variety. And I said with Frankenstein and Sinners, a vampire movie set back into the early era, Jim Crow era of the state of Mississippi. Interesting. That's to say, we have some really interesting variety here this year for the Academy Awards. I'm going to just jump out and say that these are all very well done, and I have seen literally all but two. I've seen all but two, with the exception of Train Dreams and The Secret Agent, which again, from what I understand, is a Brazil film, a political thriller. I have seen them all. I am going to take a leap of faith, if you will, based on my experience. And I think over the years, we've been doing really well. Last number of years, I think we've been 90%. 3 or 4 years ago, we were 100% dead on, perfect ballot. So we'll try to shoot for that again this year. I've got some pretty strong indications, but I will say from the beginning that I think the categories are really tough. And this is certainly one of them. I am going to narrow this down alphabetically. Potential winners. I've selected 3. I think it's going to come down to 3. And alphabetically, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. I think it comes down to one of those 3. I think any one of those 3 is capable of winning. Now, the converse is true as well. It could be a surprise. Perhaps Begonia may surprise. Emma Stone, wonderful performance. Perhaps sports becomes an overriding theme, and F1 is a surprise winner over everything. But I'm going to make a calculated guess and break this down and say that your potential winner here is, in fact, I'm going to say that the 2 leading contenders are One Battle After Another, Sinners. And then I think a third potential sleeper upset winner, in my opinion, would be an upset winner, is Hamnet, the throwback to Hamlet, and obviously a compliment to the old late William Shakespeare. But I think it is coming down to One Battle After Another and Sinners. I think both of them, I've seen both of them. They are awesome. They are great movies. They are so creative. They are so dynamic. They are fierce. There is a lot going on. They're tremendous stories. So creative, well thought up. A lot going on in these movies. Very dramatic. I think either one of them is so deserving. I'll go a little bit out on a limb and say that it's One Battle After Another that wins the Oscar, and it's just like I said. I think it's really splitting hairs at this point. But I will go one battle after another to be the ultimate winner in the Best Picture category. But again, very, very strong showing, I think, for Sinners and Hamnet in this category as well. Let's move on to the other categories. Let's go with the lead. How about lead actress? We'll start with the ladies. Folks, I feel so strongly about this one. And I believe that this, in my opinion, is probably the easiest category to call. And I'm going to go out and call Jessie Buckley for her performance in Hamnet. And I do think that that potentially down the road is a winner for Hamnet as well. But I believe she was heads above in her performance, just an outstanding, tremendous performance by her. I clearly see her as being the winner here, Jessie Buckley. I do want to get a shout out to her fellow nominees such as Rose Byrne, Renate Reinsve, Emma Stone, and Kate Hudson. I certainly want to give them their due. They are so talented. Emma Stone has been a winner in the past. She's done some great things. Rose Byrne recently picked up some awards along the way too in other categories as well. It's talent. She is so talented, and it's great to see her back as well. Those of you may remember Rose Byrne from a number of other movies over recent years. It's nice to see her back and doing so well. So we're going to call a winner here too in the Best Actress, Lead Actress, Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. Let's go on to the gentleman in Best Actor category. Wow. Folks, let me tell you, this one, wow, this one's going to be tough. Timothée Chalamet, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ethan Hawke, Michael B. Jordan, and Wagner Moura. Wow. Let me tell you, this is a stacked category. This is a tough one. When I look at everything, now. One thing that stands out to me is last year Timothée Chalamet was considered to be one of the front runners for his Complete Unknown movie, his performance of Bob Dylan, and he was not the winner last year. Adrian Brody won for The Brutalist, and deservedly so. It was so close, and I called that one. I said it would be very close, and I thought Adrian Brody would actually win that, and he did. This one, I think Timothée Chalamet is definitely in the contention. I think you have to add Leonardo DiCaprio for that wonderful performance in One Battle After Another. Leo could steal the show with the big win there, and I think he's right in there. I'm putting those two, but I have to say and add a third person who I think is right there and right on the line, and that's Michael B. Jordan for his performance in Sinners. And this one I've been going back and forth with. I think any one of those three, Timothée Chalamet, Leonardo DiCaprio, or Michael B. Jordan could be a winner here. I think it's so close. And I just think that if I had to make a pick and go out on a limb and make that pick, I'm going to go with Michael B. Jordan. And I think that could be a big win for Sinners. I just think that he was outstanding. I think he's deserving. It's been a while. I don't believe he's ever won the Oscar. This would be a record-setting night for him. If we go the opposite way for Timothée Chalamet, it would be the first Oscar win. So it would certainly be a big night for him. I would not be surprised to see one of those two, certainly, as the winner. And then I do say that the third choice and potential spoiler of the night would be Leonardo DiCaprio for his performance in One Battle After Another. So we'll see what happens with that one. But if we're talking predictions, we're going to go Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. Let's get into the supporting categories. I strongly believe that these two categories are arguably going to be probably the most hardly fought and most difficult to predict. I think these are wide open, even more so than in the other categories they were discussing. These categories are going to be tight and very hotly contested, in addition to the men for the Best Actor. So let's get right into it. We'll go to the ladies for Best Supporting Actress. And in this one, we have Elle Fanning, Inga Ibsdottir, Amy Madigan, Wumi Masaku, and Teyana Taylor. When I look at this, I'm going to single out two, and I think it is going to come down to them. I think Amy Madigan, for her wonderful performance in Weapons, she was just so diabolical and so scary. For those of you, if you've never seen Weapons, it is a horror movie. When I first saw that, and I was like, what are they talking about? And then after about 20 minutes into the movie, 30 minutes into the movie, you're like, this is definitely a horror movie. Oh my goodness. Amy Madigan, outstanding performance, but also Teyana Taylor in One Battle After Another. She was incredible, just a force of a character that she portrays in Teyana Taylor, a revolutionary, just a really gutsy performance by her, breakout performance. This could go either way. This is so tight. I do expect it to be one of those two. If I go out on a limb, I'm gonna go with Teyana Taylor. I just think it's an outstanding performance, and I certainly could see her winning the Oscar here too. A throw out to Amy Madigan, as she's been around for a while. She has been around for a while, very talented actress, has done a lot of work. This could be a reward night for Amy Madigan. So it will be interesting to see. I do expect those two to be right at the top of the list for Best Supporting Actress. How about the men? We're going to go to Best Supporting Actor. And we've got a loaded, talented performers here. Jacob Elordi, Sean Penn, Stellan Skarsgård, Benicio del Toro, and Delroy Lindo. Wow, there are some great performances in here. If we have to, in a way, I think all five are deserving. And they're supporting roles. Sometimes the supporting categories are hard because the lead actors, there's so much out there. But with supporting, it could even be a smaller role, but they're such great, strong performances that you just know the character so well. And they make such a performance, and they just add so much to the film. I'm going to single out, if I have to pick and single out, I think it's a two-way battle, or a two-way horse race, if you will, to the finish line for the winner for this category. And I think it's between Sean Penn for One Battle After Another and Stellan Skarsgård for his performance in Sentimental Value. I just think it is so tight. It is so visceral. It could be a potential win for Sentimental Value should Stellan Skarsgård win. But I do think if I went out on a limb, I'm going to have to take Sean Penn for One Battle After Another. He plays a tremendous, tremendous character part. His a police captain character is just all over the place, and his emotions and his fury and his drive and everything that this guy gets involved with, and his character is just amazing. And for Sean Penn to be able to, in a way, almost make this comeback, I think is interesting as well. So let's see what happens there. Again, I expect a tight race. Sean Penn, Stellan Skarsgård, and I will predict Sean Penn is the winner for Best Supporting Actor. So those are your big ones. And then director. Director technically is also one of the big categories too. They technically call them the Big Six: Best Director, Best Film, and then the acting categories: Lead Actor and Lead Actress, and then Supporting Actor and Supporting Actress. Essentially your six leading awards. And for Best Director, excuse me, I do see this coming down really to a two race. I think it's a two-person race without a doubt. Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, or Ryan Coogler for Sinners. I think either one of these gentlemen is deserving. These movies, Sinners or One Battle After Another, outstanding. If they were not going up against one another, I truly believe one of them would win, and there's a strong chance that the other would have won if it was produced next year, or perhaps if it was last year or so. But they're head to head. They're just so good. I'm splitting hairs, and I just believe that if there is a winner for Best Director for overall film, I do believe that the winner here is going to be Mr. Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. I could potentially see something else going on here. It could be the opposite of what happens with Best Picture. Interesting, right? My thought was the leaders are One Battle After Another and Sinners. And what's interesting here is, will the same Best Picture have the Best Director? Or will it be the opposite? Like, for example, if One Battle After Another wins Best Picture, will the award go to Sinners director, Ryan Coogler? So to kind of spread it out a little bit, if you will, in fairness to both films. So I think that's something interesting to see what would happen. And I certainly think that is possible, but I'm going to have to go back to my earlier prediction and say Best Film, One Battle After Another. And then for Best Director, I'm going to say it will be One Battle After Another's director, and that's going to be Paul Thomas Anderson. So, but watch for the flip. Watch for the flip, if that might be possible, that the Best Director award will be opposite of Best Picture. Possibility. I also just wanted to go over a few of the other categories. Original song. To me, I love the music. Music makes the movies. I love soundtracks as well. Those of you know that. I'm a big believer in that. I'm a big believer in music, and the soundtrack makes for the better film. Sometimes it makes the film. And I think that the winner this year, too, is Golden. The song Golden from the K-pop Demon Hunters. To me, I think that was an outstanding, an absolutely outstanding song. And I certainly think, and I'm going to say that the K-pop Demon Hunters are going to win for the best animated feature as well on that one. As far as some other music as well, the soundtracks. There were scores. The scores. I'm going to go back to the two popular movies, the two leading movies, which I thought Sinners, One Battle After Another. The music in those films are outstanding. I think either one of those could win. I would not be surprised if the winner of the best music would be different from the best film, to kind of spread out the awards in fairness and in even, so that could be an award for one of the films that does not win for best film, or perhaps does not win for best director. They could be awarded with the best score. But I still believe very strongly that either One Battle After Another or Sinners could take the soundtrack. Sinners is very interesting. It's like a blues type of music to this vampire driven Jim Crow era Mississippi, Deep South, blues music and vampires in the Deep South, and the music, interesting. So I could definitely see that winning. And One Battle After Another has a very, very resonating soundtrack and score. I can clearly see that one being a leader and a potential winner as well. International films, we mentioned that before, and I do think in the international film category, I think you're going to see the winner of the two that were in the best film category, and I think in that one it's going to be Sentimental Value, which is in Norway, the Norwegian film, and then the other is The Secret Agent, which is a film from Brazil. Just based upon what I saw with Sentimental Value, I did not see The Secret Agent, but I'm going to say Sentimental Value was done so well, and I do think it's one of the leading films in the international category, and I'm going to say that is going to be your winner for the international film, Sentimental Value. So we have all of those together. The writer's original screenplay. Sentimental Value, again, I think is one of the leaders there, and it will square off against Sinners. I do think, and I think that's going to be your winner, either Sentimental Value or Sinners. And I think that Sinners actually would win for the original screenplay. What an original thought and play and wording. It just outstanding, just absolutely outstanding. And then the adapted screenplay, I like One Battle After Another. I think that's certainly the leader. I think a potential spoiler there is Hamnet. Again, the throwback to the William Shakespeare. Again, though, I would predict One Battle After Another with some tough competition from Hamnet. And one final category is the visual effects. I always like the visual effects, and I think you're going to see something interesting. This is a tough one, too. Avatar, Fire and Ash. Interestingly, this is the first Avatar movie. This is the third in the franchise, but this is the only one that was never nominated for a Best Picture. It is nominated for visual effects together with F1, the Formula One racing, Jurassic World, the kickback to the old Jurassic Park era with the dinosaurs, and Sinners. Interesting Sinners with the vampires and that whole aspect for visual effects. Very, very, very interesting in this one. That one's really, really tough to call. If I have to single them out, I would have to go with Avatar, Fire and Ash. But I think that Sinners, as well as Jurassic World, certainly will be right there for visual effects as well. So, folks, with that in mind, congratulations. Thank you for joining us here on the Oscars. You win the Oscar for the best television audience of an Academy Award preview show. Thank you for joining me. Many of you, I'm sure, have joined me for a number of the years that we've done the show. It's been outstanding. It's actually been a privilege of mine to be able to bring a lot of these to you. And when we look and we focus on Oscar here, obviously the statuettes, we're going to see many of them. A lot of your winners are going to walk away with these Oscars. And it's just a joyous night for Hollywood. What I wanted to conclude and say here today is get out and see the movies. However you do that, going to the movies, or perhaps if you're waiting till they're streaming and they're available, however it is that you watch them, try to watch them, enjoy them. There's a lot of variety. Films are great. They make us laugh. They make us smile. They make us cry. We share sympathy. We share joy. We share the agony. We share the pain. We share in the triumphs, and then we share in the sadness. All of these things and all of these movies, what they do, whether it's a sports movie or action adventure or a horror film or a suspenseful film or a romantic comedy or a drama, any type of movie it is that you enjoy, perhaps you enjoy quite a bit. There is nothing like the movies. It is just wonderful. And from so many different standpoints, from the storyline, and certainly that's the writer, and then getting that into the film, and then putting the life of that work into the actors and actresses, and how they act it out in character, tell the story, progress through the drama, through the laughter, through the pain, through the agony, and through the triumph, and the exhilaration and the joy, the beauty, the humor, what they all bring, and the stories and the lessons and the themes and the morals and the ideas that we take away from the movies are really what life is all about. It's truly enjoyable, and to be able to watch these and to see the technical aspect of it, from the director's vision to the audio and the musical production, the soundtrack, blending all of this together too with the editing, the fine editing that puts everything together. Everything is filmed, but you need that person to put everything together and to sketch that together and piece it together and put that story together so it flows. And it's easy to watch, it's easy to listen to, and it's just an absolutely incredible piece of work, if you will. It's a piece of art. And that's what the Oscars do. The Oscars celebrate those performances, those stories, those writings, those screenplays, the costumes, the makeup, the design, the editing, the sound, the vision, the directing, the creativity, the producing. All things come together, and we all enjoy for that big night and recognize those that have made such wonderful contributions to the field of film. So thank you again for joining me. On behalf of the Sports Express, this, and I can proudly say, is our 19th year, the 19th annual Academy Award preview show. And hopefully you can take a lot of this information with you, and not just for the awards night, but take it forward, enjoy it, get to the movies, even a few weeks from now, a month from now, get out to the movies, see some of these wonderful movies that are part of the 2026 Academy Award nominations. And certainly some of them will become winners on Sunday, March 15th. So again, for everyone at the Sports Express and for the 19th annual Academy Award preview show, I'm Larry Spegar. Thank you for joining us. Have a great night and enjoy the Oscars 98th annual in 2026.